So this is Stampin' Sunday. So this is my weekly Facebook Live where I show you projects I'm working on, new products, and other things that I'm creating in my studio. So tonight I'm going to show you this month's Paper Pumpkin kit. I received it this week. And if you watched last month's Paper Pumpkin unboxing, I did some alternatives. So I did create the kit this afternoon, and I do have some alternatives. So there's one that I want to show you for sure. So if you are new to my page, my name is Jenna Moore. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, and every Sunday at 7:30 I go live, which I mentioned. So a couple of things before we get started. I wanted to mention that I do have my event up for my first in-person class, which is happening Thursday, September the 2nd. So that is an in-person class in my studio, and it's one of my new classes. So it's a specialty Stampin' class, and once a month we will focus on a technique or a kit perhaps. And so for September's class, that will be the Stampin' Blends alcohol technique. So we will make 3 cards that evening, and you will go away. You'll pick 2 packs of Stampin' Blends, and those are to take home with you. So that class is $35. Again, it's Thursday, September 2nd. All the information is on the events tab. You do have until Thursday to sign up for that, so I will have a last call Wednesday night just to make sure that I have enough time to order the supplies so that they're here. So everything else, I'm going to flip my camera around. So let's see if, oh, there we go. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. So now I don't have that awkward switch between cameras. So hopefully that's okay. So I wanted to remind you that it is August, and I did celebrate my birthday this month. And as a way for me to celebrate with you, I'm doing a giveaway for a free Stampin' Mini cut and emboss. And you can earn entries this month. So from August 1st to 31st, every time you place a $40 order. So every $40 in your order is 1 entry. So if you place an $80 order before tax and shipping, you're getting 2 entries. If you attend a class or you refer a friend, meaning that your friend places an order or attends a class, then you will receive entries into that draw. The draw will take place September 1st. And you can see the full details on my blog at jennascraftingstudio.com. Okay, so like I said, we are looking at August Paper Pumpkin kit. So this was the kit. This was actually a kit that was created with Shelly Gardner, who is one of the founders of Stampin' Up! And so she had her hand in creating this kit this month. This kit is called Box of Hope. Hopefully this will focus. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Hope box. So the idea with this kit was that you were going to get supplies to create 9 different cards of hope and encouragement. And then you could use the box with some of the supplies to create a hope box for yourself or to give away. So you would put in encouraging words or, items that were sentimental to you, and you would have this special keepsake box to be able to share or to keep for yourself. So I'm going to show you what the intended projects are supposed to look like. So every month in the Paper Pumpkin kit, you do get a full set of color instructions. So you can see there are 3 different designs of cards, 3 of each, and then the hope box. So inside there are full sets of instructions to how to create the box as well as the 3 cards. On the back, you get a full listing and visual of the contents of the kit. You get the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors. So if you want to pull in items from your craft room, you know what colors go with the supplies in the kit. You also get a few ideas for Paper Pumpkin alternatives. And so a Paper Pumpkin alternative just means you're using the pieces from the kit in a different way than the suggested project details. And then you do get the link to the Paper Pumpkin website, and I believe you get the link in here to the YouTube channel where you can watch the cards being put together. Okay, so I'm going to show you the contents of the kit, and then I'm going to show you what I did with them. So you get this great roll of Blackberry Bliss ribbon. It's kind of like a gauze weave. It's very flexible. This is intended to be on the front of your Hope box. And then, of course, in every Paper Pumpkin kit, you do get a full exclusive stamp set. So this is this month's stamp set, if I can figure out which way it goes. And because it's hard to see in the photopolymer, I did stamp them out so you can see all the different encouraging sentiments and the images that come in this stamp set. This month's ink spot is Blackberry Bliss, so you do get, hopefully this will focus, you get at least one color of ink. No, it's not going to focus. We did this before and it worked okay, but it's not, it's being temperamental. Oh, there we go. Just takes a while. So you do get at least one color of ink in every Paper Pumpkin, and the colors do not repeat in a 12-month period. You get all the adhesives you need to complete the project kit. So you get a full sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals, and somewhere in here is a full sheet of glue dots. So the only thing you really need to have in addition to the kit supplies is a pair of scissors, for instance, for cutting the ribbon. Okay, and then because this is a card kit, there are these fun envelopes in 3 different patterns. I've actually cut a couple of mine up, so you can see they have fun designs on the front and the back, so those are really cute. And then we have a whole bunch of die cut pieces. So this is for the front of the box. So we have sentiment that says always hope because you never know what tomorrow will bring in 3 different languages. So I believe they're French and German. And if I'm wrong, hopefully someone will correct me. There are die cuts for doing the stamping. We have tomorrow and hope in the 3 different languages. This also said hope. I've used them all, and I'll show you how I did that on my cards. There is this big sheet of die cuts. Look at this butterfly. Isn't it beautiful? That's for the front of the box, which I haven't decorated the boxes yet. There was a full sheet of die cut butterflies. There is this band that goes around the front of the kit and one of the card fronts. And then there were these great adhesive back sequins. These are in a light purple. So those were really fun to work with. So let me clean this up, and I'm going to show you the ones that I did put together, and then I'm going to show you one of the alternatives. So this one here, I'm just going to get some of this out of the way. This one here, I actually liked the way the project was intended, so I didn't really change these up, except that this is the way it was intended to be. I did switch these out to say where there's hope, miracles happen instead of there is faith. So I just did a small variation. But there was this great die cut. This die cut is all one big piece with the butterflies and the florals. And there is some pattern behind. And then this is one of the hope die cut pieces. And then there were some banners for sentiments that I stamped on. And I did use the Blackberry Bliss ink. And then I did some of the sequins. So there's that one. Just gonna try to find the other ones. So then there was this one. So this was a really fun one. There's this big stamp that says always hope because you never know what tomorrow will bring. And then the die cuts, actually, I used Stampin' Dimensionals to go right over the stamp. So you could just use the stamp and it would have that same saying. I used a couple of butterflies. This one I did a little differently. I just put the card front pieces on an angle. And then this one here I completely changed. So this is a piece of the envelope that I've cut, and I've used the die cut butterflies and used the stamp that says just a note of hope. I did change the ink, so I knew that Melon Mambo was one of the coordinating colors. And so I used that with this stamp. Okay, and then the last one, if I can find the instructions, I just want to show you what it was intended to look like, and hopefully this will focus. So this last Melon Mambo card front, or card base, that's what it was intended to look like. I honestly wasn't too fond of that design, and so I changed the ones that I did. So this one is just a variation. I still used all the same pieces, I just changed the orientation and how everything was laid out. So I did cut some of the banners and I layered them this way instead. And then the one I'm going to show you tonight is this one. So I used all the banners, I just changed the direction, but what I want to show you also is how to use this new glimmer paper and how I've colored it. So I'm going to put some of this away. So what I'm going to show you are the pieces that are included for this project and how I've changed them to create this card. So this is the card base. So it's a Melon Mambo front with this speckled design. Then I have the 4 banners, and these are all, and the great thing is you don't have to have a die cutting machine when you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, because they give you all the die cuts and they just pop out. So we've got 4 of those, and then there was this piece of white that was intended to go in behind the banners. So this I'm actually going to cut up and use for my sentiment. And then we're going to use the adhesive back, the sequins, and then I'm going to use the glimmer paper. So if you're not familiar with the glimmer paper that I'm talking about, it is one of the Celebration rewards. Celebration is happening August 3rd to September 30th, and you can win or earn free product from this brochure with every $60 or $120 order. So one of the rewards with a $60 order is this Bedazzling specialty paper. And of course, this camera isn't going to give it justice. I should grab the pack paper. So this is the paper here. And you can see I've cut a bunch up already. But you get 8 sheets of the 6x6 glimmer paper. Isn't that incredible? And I did get the question the other night, isn't this the paper that dulls your trimmer blades? And yes, that can be true. So the tip I gave on Friday is when you're cutting glimmer paper, you want to turn it upside down and cut this way, because this will lessen the dulling of your blade on your trimmer. Okay, so for this card, where I used the Bedazzling paper is on this butterfly. So the butterfly dies, if you don't know where they're located, they're in the annual catalog, and they're called the Brilliant Wing dies. You get 2 sheets of dies. This one here is one full die. It coordinates with the stamp that is in the catalog as part of a bundle. And then we have these beautiful detailed butterfly dies. So when I saw the kit and I saw that it had to do with butterflies, I thought it would be great to pull in these dies and add them to my card. So I did use this one here. And if I can find it, so here it is. I did cut it out already, just for ease of time. And I also put on the back of the paper, I used adhesive sheets. If you haven't seen me talk about adhesive sheets, I like to use these on the back of the paper when I'm cutting out very detailed dies that are thin, because then you don't have to worry about glue on the back. So I'll show you what that looks like as I'm working with it, but these are available in the annual catalog also. So I've got my butterfly cut out and I want to add some color. So you can add any color of ink that you want to the paper and it will take on the color. So for tonight's butterfly, I used Melon Mambo, which is the same color as this card base here. So there's 2 ways you can do it. If you have an ink pad, so this is Blackberry Bliss, but you could use any ink pad. If you slightly squish your ink pad, I didn't squish hard enough. There we go. The ink will transfer from the pad to the inside cover, and you can use this ink with your coloring tools and color different mediums with that. I happen to have the re-inker for Melon Mambo, and so you can buy these re-inkers to re-ink your ink pads. And this one again is in Melon Mambo, and I'm going to use one of my extra stamp blocks, and I'm just going to put a little drop there and use my block as a paint palette, so to speak. Okay, so I've got that there. And then the coloring tool I'm going to use is one of our water painters. So these water painters, you get 3 different sizes of the water painters in the annual catalog. I'm using the broadest tip. Hopefully this will focus. We will see. So this is the broadest tip. It does have, it's filled with water. I just, you unscrew it. I can get this out. Yeah, you unscrew and then you just fill it up with tap water. This one, actually, the broad tip, I use to seal envelopes instead of licking them. So that's another use for this one. So to add the color to the butterfly, all I'm going to do is squeeze the brush so that some of the water comes down the brush. And then I'm going to dip it in the re-inker. So I'm picking up some of that ink. There we go. And I've got my grid paper down so that it catches the ink that's going to go off the butterfly. And all I'm doing is brushing this on like paint. Okay. So if you need some more, you just dip it back in like paint. And depending on how much color, you could probably go back a couple of times and add a couple of coats. I think this is good. Now you could let this dry, just air dry. For the sake of time, I'm going to grab my heat tool and just give this a bit of heat so that it dries a little quicker. That should be good. And then I'm going to leave that for now because I don't want to peel and stick everything until I have the rest of my card done. So let's get started assembling tonight's card. First, I'm going to fold the card base in half. And I'm going to use a bone folder to burnish the edge here. Then I'm going to pop out all my banners so that I can get those on my card. So these are 4 different fun designs. They have all of the coordinating colors that are listed on the back of the instruction sheet. And I'll bring this back in view so you can see. I just laid them out in whatever pattern I chose. And I didn't really spend a lot of time choosing what pattern I was going to use. I'm noticing now I'm running out of Seal. So I'm going to use Seal Plus on this card. So just need a tape runner to glue these, and I've glued them all flat, so I haven't used Stampin' Dimensionals on any of these, just gluing them all flat in kind of a random pattern. Okay. I love how the colors are so bold on here. It's a nice fun card. Okay, and then like I said, for my greeting, because there wasn't a banner big enough to fit this stamp that I wanted, I took one of the pieces that was supposed to go with this card and I'm just going to repurpose it. So I've got the stamp that says, "Where there is faith, miracles happen." And I love that sentiment. And I am using Blackberry Bliss ink. I happen to own the full size ink pad, so I just pulled that out. So I'm going to ink that up. And I just really want it in the corner here. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and just trim that up. So I'm not really measuring, I'm just figuring out how big I need it. And I've left a little bit on the end. Oh, I guess you couldn't see that. I just trimmed it up. I didn't really measure. I left a bit on the right-hand side here because I want to create that flagged end. So to do that, I'm grabbing my Tailor Tag punch and popping it open, and I'm using this side here. And I'm just cutting off that end, okay? I've got a nice little flagged end there. that punch away. And then the sentiment, I am going to use dimensionals to pop that up. So like I said, with the kit, you do get the full sheet of dimensionals. So you should have more than enough to complete the projects in the kits and then have some leftovers for some other projects. Okay, just going to pop that there, and then I'm going to take my butterfly. Now normally if you peel off the backing off the adhesive sheets, it would pull, oh, it is pulling out some of the bits, but because this glimmer paper is so thick, I am going to have to pop out some of them. But the adhesive sheets are nice because it gives you a sticker back now, so you don't have to go through all these little bits and put on adhesive. So if you can bear with me for a second, I'm just going to pop out the rest of these. This is what I should have done this before, because then we could have saved some time here, but hopefully I don't make a mess of this. We will see. So because it's all adhesive back, all these bits that are coming out are nice and sticky. So I'm just sticking them all together and then I will dispose of them. If you were using regular cardstock, the adhesive back would really pull out a lot of these bits for you and you wouldn't have to poke them all out. So I'm just using my Take-A-Pick tool, which has the pokey end on it. If I turn it over, I can probably see better. To just pull all these bits out. So let's see, just get these last few bits out. My hands are going to be covered in this glitter. I'm sure I'll find it later. But it's really nice that you have the option to add color. So you can make, if you're cutting out this paper with dyes, you have a great opportunity to make it any color you need it to coordinate with your projects. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to just put these bits off to the side. Okay, here we go. And then the adhesive on the back of the adhesive sheets is very sticky, so it is sticking here to my hands. Okay, so now I'm just going to place that on my card. I'm gluing it flat and just in the corner there. Okay, so that adds some fun sparkle with the Bedazzling specialty paper, and then I'm just going to add some of these sequins. So the other end of the Take-A-Pick tool is a putty end, and you can use this to grab your embellishments. So I don't know if this will focus, but there is putty on here. It is refillable, the putty, so you can buy refills for that. And it makes it super easy to grab those embellishments and put them on your card. So that's my paper pumpkin alternative for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. So if you're not familiar with what Paper Pumpkin is, it is a subscription box. So Paper Pumpkin has a cutoff every month of the 10th of the month. So as long as you subscribe by the 10th, you will get that month's card. And then it ships out usually within a week later. And so with Paper Pumpkin, it's always somewhat of a surprise as to what the project is, and that's part of the fun. So I try to share with you some sneak peeks of what Stampin' Up! Gives us for that month's kit. I do actually have a sneak peek of the September kit. So if you were interested in signing up to receive September's kit, you would need to do so by September the 10th. And so September's kit is called Haunts and Harvest Paper Pumpkin. It is going to be treat boxes. So instead of cards, you will get 12 treat boxes and an exclusive stamp set and an ink spot. And you will be able to use the treat boxes either for Halloween or Thanksgiving or some other kind of fall theme. I do actually have 2 other pictures to show you what the treat boxes will look like. I'll post them below here so you can see them. So I was thinking this would be a real fun kit to use to make treat boxes for a Thanksgiving table. So if you had up to 12 people coming to Thanksgiving dinner, you could use this kit to create fun little treats or table favors for them to take with them. Also, if you were having perhaps an adult or a kid's Halloween party, you could use those as table favors also. So this will be a really fun kit to put together for the fall. If you're interested in subscribing, that is the link to do so. There's also the link to subscribe for Paper Pumpkin on my blog, jennascraftingstudio.com. If you have any questions about Paper Pumpkin and how to subscribe, please let me know. So when you subscribe, you do automatically receive the next month's kit, but you do have an option to cancel or suspend. So if you see the sneak peek for the next month's kit and you decide it's not really your taste or something you're interested in, you can for sure suspend that month and then reactivate the next month. So there's lots of flexibility in the subscription kit. I think it's a really great value. You get lots of value for the price of the subscription. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's cards. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great night. And I will see you again next Sunday at 7:30, and we'll go live again. Take care and have a great night.